alim letrufah, eternally yours. Oh, letter 273, publisher's notes. In this letter, Nasa makes a veiled reference to the fears he endured during the previous gathering of his followers in Breslov on Shabbos Chanukah in 5595. In 1835, Nasa's opponents provoked a conflict, which led to police intervention and arrests. After Reb Noson's exile from Breslov in the summer of 1835, he refrained from convening these gatherings for fear of further arousing his opponents. With the end of hostilities, the gathering of the Breslov Chassidim resumed, but not without trepidation. Nach, nachman. Meuman, with God's help, Friday Torah reading bezH. 5599 Breslov. Warm greetings to my honored, dear and beloved friend, the learned and distinguished fruit of the tzaddik, descendant of the holy of holiest, Rebbe. May his light shine. I receive your precious letter this week, informing me that thank God you had a daughter. May she live. It is good to thank God, whose compassion has helped us this far. May it be His will that she will bring good mazel, blessing, life, and peace to you and to us. May the fruit of the tzaddik sprout, may his young ones go forth, and may the branches grow long. May his holy offspring be as numerous as the sands of the sea, and may they bring light to the world. May the verse be fulfilled, and the fruit of the earth will be glorified and radiant. May it come speedily in our times, amen. I also received a letter this week from my learned friend, Rebbe. May his light shine, and from his wife. May she live along with 10 silver rubles. I do not understand why the letters were delayed so long in the post. They were written nearly 4 weeks ago. I also wrote you 3 weeks ago when I came to meuman, and I have yet to receive a response. No word and no money. I am certain that you have already sent the money which is due to my son Reb Shachner. May he live, and an additional sum as well. But if you have not sent it, do not delay any longer, because my sons, may they live, are really pressing me. In addition, my own situation is extremely tight right now, and I have no idea what to do with regards to my livelihood. I only hope to the Lord my God, thus it is incumbent upon you, and all of you, to come to my aid at all times, even beyond your means. It is no small matter for you to help me financially after all I have gone through, pursued the way I am. Had God not helped me, in a moment I would have dwelt in the grave. What is more, you cannot possibly know what I have in my heart and what I carry there. Were I to relate it, no one would believe that it was possible to suffer so much, and at the same time to accomplish such holy, amazing things in the world. However the case may be, it is appropriate that you furnish me with financial supports of all kinds, and God will help and reimburse you many times over. I will not go on about this, as you will act swiftly on your own. God will do what is good and finish everything for the best. You should know, my friend, that thank God I had many guests on Shabbos Chanukah, and in God everything went smoothly through His miraculous kindness. I am pained, though, that I was still a little frightened. I hope to God that through His kindness this fear in my heart will disappear, but we need a little more money before this will happen. God willing, between Pesach and Shavuos, I will think about this a little. Salvation will come from God, so that all will be well. With God's help, thank God I spoke many words of truth, and we were happy and danced. Thank God who bestows kindness upon the guilty and has given me every good. What could I give back to God after all the good He has done for me? He heaven for us. So now you really ought to wake up and draw close to God, in as much as we see His miracle, salvation, and kindness. that he did not abandon us in our enslavement, and he bestowed upon us such amazing kindnesses and awesome acts of salvation. Most of what I said this Chanukah was from the holy lesson, Chanukah lesson. The one who has compassion for them will guide them. If I have already spoken about this a great deal, it is nonetheless necessary to go back and recall what is written there many times every day. For the holy words of the Rebbe's teachings and the words of this lesson in particular are extremely deep and very great. Indeed, they explain the concept of the Rebbe's replacements and his holy remnant, the essence of which is that the heart of every single person should be illuminated by the knowledge that God is right there beside him, and that he should know and to remember at all times that the whole world is full of his glory. A person must constantly rouse himself from his slumber and not sleep and waste his life in darkness. God forbid. This is expressed by the verse which is cited in the lesson. Rise up and sing, you who dwell in the dust. What can I say to you, my precious, beloved son and student? It is impossible to express all that I have in my heart about this, especially in this context. Most of what I said pertained to what is written there about the dictum, build a fence for the torah, which is the same concept as silence is a fence for wisdom. This means that a person must very often remain silent in the face of all his questions and confusion, and to strengthen himself only in perfect faith. I said many beautiful, true, and wondrous things about this. May God allow us to understand and grow wise, and to fulfill all the words of the Rebbe's holy teachings, for they are our life and the length of our days. Out of honor for Shabbos, I must not go on. Please be sure to act quickly and fulfill my words at once. May God fortify your hearts and all of your hearts for torah, prayer, charity, and good deeds. May God give you ascendancy and good mazel, and may you succeed in all your endeavors the way that you and I, your true eternal friend, would wish. Praying for you, Nasan of Breslev. Greetings to all our comrades with a great love, and especially to your father-in-law, may live, and his whole family. I do not have time now to send greetings to everyone individually. Warm greetings to my cherished friend, the learned, distinguished, and illustrious rebbe. May his light shine along with all his children. May they live. You received your letter with the 10 silver rubles. May the massive compassion quickly and propitiously grant all your heart's requests. May you merit through God's mercy to have strong, healthy children. Very, very soon may you give longevity, healing, and all good to those children that you already have, and may they flourish to a ripe old age. As for writing you words of truth, I already wrote some above, and they were intended for you as well, and for anyone who desires to hear my words. I do not have time to write any more right now, but all the Rebbe's books are in front of you. Study them over and over. Grow old and gray with them. How very happy I was when I saw in your letter your enormous desire and good yearnings to come close to God. May God fortify your heart to long and to yearn for Him at all times, until you merit to express these desires in speech, to speak them wholeheartedly before God, and to ask Him to have pity on you, and to bring you genuinely close to His service from now on. For free choice exists, and the primary way of drawing close to God is the one that the Rebbe of blessed memory brought into the world, i.e., to yearn very much with intense good desires for good every day, to strive to articulate them in detail. Good desires for God every day. Good desires for God every day. To strive to articulate them in detail, and to express oneself before God. The Rebbe endorsed this practice innumerable times for every person in the world, for it applies to everyone equally. Happy is the person who observes it. All our vitality, particularly now in the footsteps of Mashiach. comes only through prayer and supplications. Our only strength is in our mouths, as is written, I am a worm, not a man. If even King David, may he rest in peace, said that he was a worm and not a man, what shall we say? What shall we say? Our entire hope is what the rabbis taught on this verse. Just say worm's only strength resides in his mouth, so Israel's only strength resides in its mouth. It would be fitting to elaborate on this a great deal, but time is pressing and the hour for morning prayers has arrived. May God command His kindness to rest upon you and upon us in the mundane and the spiritual, in accordance with your wish and the wish of your friend who is like a brother and who desires your eternal good and success, Nusam as above. 274 with thanks to God. Tuesday, Vayera 5599 Breslev. Greetings to my beloved learned son, Rebbe Yitzchak. May he live along with all his children. May they live. As for writing you words of truth, I do not know where to begin. They got beautiful words of truth and true awakening were spoken over these past Shabbos, and there were words of enormous encouragement to constantly make a new start at expressing oneself before God, to constantly strengthen oneself in good desires and yearnings, and to regularly and clearly articulate these desires each day, especially at night during the long winter nights which we are presently experiencing. This is what the Rebbe taught in the verse, I will remember my song in the night, I will speak with my heart, I will search my spirit. Each person must come to a thorough understanding of this verse for himself, about how he must speak with himself, that is, with his heart, about he must remember his song, about how he must remember his song, i.e. the good that is in him, and about how he must search his spirit. Perhaps there is still hope that he will merit what all the truly righteous and the tzaddikim have merited. For every person on every level, even on the lowest level of all, must constantly say, when will my deeds be equal to the deeds of my ancestors? Because free choice always exists, as I have discussed countless times. However, this must all be done in a way that brings a person closer and not distances him more. God forbid, I do not have time to write any more the words of your Father, waiting for God's salvation for every single one of you, in general and in particular, in this world and the next, eternally. Nasan of Breslin. Greetings to all our comrades with the great, mighty, and absolutely infinite love forever. A crucial point I forgot, really, no matter what, be happy, for above all a person must strengthen himself in joy. 57:55 with thanks to God. Thursday night Erev Shabbos, Bishalach 55:99 Uman. My dear beloved son, the learned Rebbe Yitzchak, may he live. Thank God I arrived here safely today. I received your letter just now, and I was really delighted. I was especially pleased by the letter I received from Rebbe Ephraim, which is very precious to me. So I sat down to write an answer to Rebbe Ephraim. May his light shine, and it is also intended for you, my dear son, and for all of you. May God add to your numbers. The deliverer of this letter is extremely pressured, so it is impossible to go on as much as would be fitting for the time being. It will suffice to encourage yourself with the few words that I wrote to Rebbe Ephraim. May his light shine. You should view these words as altogether new, because all our teachings are new and are constantly reborn at every moment. For these words emanate from the well springs of salvation, the unique of the unique, the unique of the unique, the wonder of all the wonders of the Creator. It is beyond all expression. I hope to God that I will soon write you a somewhat longer letter. Greetings to all my family in Breslev. The words of your Father, waiting for salvation. May God allow us to rejoice on the approaching Shabbos Sheder and to experience anew the exodus from Egypt and the splitting of the Red Sea. May He allow us to truly remember the exodus from Egypt in our hearts every day, and to see ourselves as if we went out of Egypt and passed through the sea, as the sages said, in every generation. A person is obligated to see himself as if he himself left Egypt. Anyone who looks a little at God's acts of salvation will see miracles and wonders in the depth of the exile, which are greater than the splitting of the Red Sea, as is explained in many books, and as our rabbis of blessed memory he said, these are his mighty acts, these are his marvels. With this a person can encourage himself at all times, for God will not abandon his people. Noson of Breslev, greetings to all our comrades with a great love. Nanach, nachma, nachma, nanach, nachman, meuman. Lesson 276, letter 276, with thanks to God, Sunday Tisu, 5599, Breslev, light, joy, celebration, and radiance. To my honor, dear and beloved son, the learned Rebbe Yitzchak, may his light shine. I received a letter from you on Friday, this past day of Shabbos, and also one today. I very much enjoyed your letter on Friday, which I read every Erev Shabbos, very close to Shabbos' arrival. The encouragement I received from it was much greater than the pain, and because I see that, thank God, the words of the Rebbe, which flow through my speech, are having a positive influence through God's extremely exalted and awesome kindness and wonders. I cannot express to you in writing, my dear son, what I have in my heart about this. Who would believe it if I told them that people like you in this generation would merit to talk like this and to long so much for the holiness of Peter? This really is the way. This is what we all should be doing. And thank God I spoke about this a great deal last Shabbos, and you can hear a little about it from Reb Yid and Reb Mem, Reb Y and Reb Mem and Reb M. May they live. More than this you can understand from the Rebbe's holy books, and particularly from the prayer that I wrote through God's kindness on the lesson Purim is a preparation for Pesach. Who has heard anything like this? Who has seen things like this? Fortify yourself with the utmost determination, my son and my student, and do not let your thoughts upset you. You still have no idea at all of what is happening in the world. God's kindnesses are very great, as I have already discussed with you a great deal. At the moment, I have no time to go on, especially as a number of people are now in my house, and I cannot put off seeing them. This will suffice for now. May God let you and may be happy. May God let you and may be happy with the joy. Oh, may God let you and may be happy, and me. May God let you and me be happy with the joy of Purim. May He hear our cry and save us quickly for the sake of His name. Let us rejoice and be happy over His salvation. Noson of Breslev, noson of Breslev, nanach, nachma, nachman, meuman, nachma, meuman, nanach, nachma. Huh?
Staat das für them? Was? Nee, ich will nicht länger bis Schlishi.
Nanach, nachma, no. Nachma, meuman, nanach, nachma, meuman. Letter 277, with God's help, son of Ikru, 5599, bezH. My dear beloved son, come and see the constant wonders and kindnesses of God at every moment. I was sitting at the table today when your messenger arrived with the news that you had lost the money in my house. I immediately asked the whole family about it, but no one knew anything. I do not have to tell you now. I do not have to tell you how pained I was at that moment. I knew well how distressed you must have been, and this upset me very much. You know how many people tell me the troubles and the pain, and how much this weighs on my heart. It is almost unbearable. Also in my house right now, my granddaughter is sick with rubella, German measles, which appeared on her face today. May God soon cure her. The rest of the family is also unwell because the chimney flue, what is called a shud, broke last night. They did not sleep all night because of the smoke, we just have to pray in the middle of all of this. In the middle of all this, I got your message, but I have already told you that it is impossible to bear what each person must go through every day, except through the paths that I learned. From the Rebbe, God was kind to me, and I summoned my strength and believed that everything is for the best. I remembered once again that a person must simply and straightforwardly put into practice what the rabbi said. A person should always be in the habit of saying everything that the merciful one does, he does for the best. Just then the deliverer of this letter, our friend Reb Nachman, may his light shine, was moved to go and look for the money in the trash. In just a short time he found it and brought it to me without my telling him to do a thing. Thank God, he fulfilled the perfection he fulfilled to perfection the mitzvah of returning a love of lost object. Reb Gershon, may his light shine, and everyone who was in my house were all stunned. They looked on, astounded at the great kindness that God bestows so abundantly at every moment. Now, my dear son, see and understand. Look at the constant wonders and kindness of God. Get into the habit of constantly strengthening yourself in the faith that everything that happens to a person is for the best. I have spoken about this many times, but you must go further and strengthen yourself on your own, for it is impossible to explain every individual case. The essence of a person's free will lies in the fact that much is hidden from him. A person is constantly being tested in everything, and the whole test is dependent upon this concealment. Were a person always to see God's intention, there would not be any test at all. Therefore, my beloved son, for God's sake, awake, fortify yourself and be strong. Bring yourself to great joy, especially since you were here for a number of days, as a result of you breaking down barriers from which the joy derives its primary value. I know that all the distress you had over this lost money was only because of the sadness and depression which you did not commit yourself to driving off. But God in His compassion had pity, and it was easy on you and on me, so that the loss was recovered. Strengthen yourself now and rely on God. He will never abandon you. May God's kindness be with you every moment of every hour of every day and everything in the world, great and small, to support you and sustain you, to fortify you and to strengthen you, so that you will merit to constantly draw closer to Him until you will be just as He wishes you to be forever. The time for the afternoon prayers is arrived, and it cannot go on any longer. May the massive compassion and kindness mitigate all strict judgments from you and from me. His kindness to us is being great. The truth of God stands forever. The words of your father Nassan of bezH, nanach, nachman, nachman, meuman.